Hi there guys, and welcome to another episode of the Cover Zero Show with me, your host Simon Conboy. So we are just a few hours removed from the opening game of this NFL season, the Chiefs visiting the defending Super Bowl champion Patriots in Foxborough. As hinted at in the podcast which went up not too long ago, the Cover Zero Roundtable, if you've seen that, I'm going to be doing an extended preview of that game where I highlight each position group, where I think each team has the edge, how I think they're going to go about attacking the other team in this game before offering up a more detailed analysis and prediction than I did in that episode, where we kind of just ran through every game, just giving some brief thoughts. So this matchup, as I've said previously, is one I'm really looking forward to. I think these are two of the better teams in the AFC, and I think they will both be competing for the playoffs. The Chiefs possibly even competing for home field. I do think they're a pretty talented team, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So really excited about this matchup. And I want to start with what I think is the marquee matchup in this game, and that is the Patriots offense with its many weapons going up against the Chiefs defense, which is one of the most talented groups in the entire league. They've got studs at every level. I think they got better this off-season, and they lost Dontari Poe. They added Benny Logan. I think he's an improvement, a more consistent player than Dontari Poe. So we're going to start with the offensive line, defensive line matchup. Now, I have to give the Chiefs the edge here. I'm going to include the edge rushers in here. The Chiefs have a great pair of edge rushers. Justin Houston is finally healthy, and Dee Ford played very well in his second season last year. He looks like he's going to be a force as well. When you compare this to the Patriots tackles, Cannon and Solder are both solid players. They're not exceptional pass blockers, however. Where the Patriots will try and negate this fact, because they're well aware neither of these guys is going to be able to handle Justin Houston. I'm not sure throwing one of the running backs in is necessarily going to help either. They're not going to keep Gronk in to help out too much either. It's going to be a very short passing attack to compensate for this, because otherwise these Chiefs guys, they're too talented. Even with help, they're still going to generate some pressure. So these tackles, they've got a tough task. I think they're going to be absolutely integral. How well they can hold up it is going to determine a lot of the success that this Patriots offense has, even with the Patriots game plan, I suspect, attempting to mitigate the impacts that these guys have. I've got no doubt offensively that's the focus of the Patriots. Keep the pass rush off of Tom Brady and they'll have success elsewhere. Now, in terms of in the interior, I think, again, you've got to give the edge to the Chiefs. Benny Logan's one of the better nose tackles in the league. Chris Jones is also a very good player. He'll be able to cause some disruption up the interior as well, I suspect. I don't think the Patriots, whilst they're okay at tackle, I don't think they're great along the interior. Shaq Mason, Joe Thuney and David Andrews are an okay bunch of players, but I don't think any of them are exceptional. I think they are protected well by how this offense operates. I think they're better run blockers than pass blockers, but I think they're going to really struggle to move these guys in the run game. They're a really tough group. Justin Houston's also a great edge defender, so if they are going to have much success running, I suspect they're going to have to be going after Dee Ford. So I don't know how successful that ends up being. The Patriots running backs, I think, are going to be key in this battle. With the Chiefs having the edge in the trenches, I don't know how much success they're going to have running the ball. However, they're going to have to at least attempt to do it to set up some play action. And I think also just to try and keep these pass rushers a little bit honest. I don't think they want the Chiefs getting too creative in terms of what they're doing to try and generate pressure. I think the backs, of course, they're going to be relied upon in pass protection every now and then. But I think their ability in the short passing game is going to be essential. Now, they've got a fantastic group to do that with Dion Lewis, James White, a lot of guys there that can catch the ball out of the backfield. I suspect that to be a heavy part of the game plan, a real focus, trying to isolate Derek Johnson in space, because he's not the player he used to be. Who knows how he'll look as well, coming off of an injury last season. So I think that's going to be a big part of it. I'm not expecting to see too much from Brandon Cooks in this game. He's going to have Marcus Peters on him. I think Peters is one of the few corners with the talent to just line up with a speedster like Brandon Cooks one-on-one and win that matchup the majority of the time. The Patriots tend to err on the side of caution in these situations, so whilst I think Cooks may get a couple of short passes his way, I don't expect him to be a big factor in this game. He might get a couple lobbed his way deep, but I'm pretty dubious about that being the case. Gronkowski also has a similarly difficult matchup. Eric Berry is an exceptional safety. I expect he's going to be basically following around over the top of wherever we see Gronkowski line up. I've got no doubt they'll move Gronkowski about. He's going to be the guy that they're going to rely on to, I think, reveal some of the Chiefs' formations, how they're planning to defend him. He's going to get his looks because, of course, he is. He's Gronkowski. You can only slow him down. You're never going to truly stop him. But I'm not sure this is the kind of game where he's going to take over and absolutely go off. The Chiefs are a very good team when it comes to tackling. I don't think you'll see too many of those ridiculous Gronkowski runs after the catch. Berry is going to do a good enough job, I think, to keep him in check. But as I say, he will make his plays. For me, the X factor in the receiving group is going to be Chris Hogan. I think we'll see Mitchell lining up out wide. I still don't know how much trust Tom Brady's got in him with another off-season. He may see a few passes come his way. He could potentially be quite dynamic in terms of being the guy that gets down the field. But I think we're going to see a lot of underneath stuff. I think this is always something in the Patriots locker. They're very much happy to be a ball control West Coast style of passing team, and I think in a matchup such as this one where their best weapons have actually got some defenders that can possibly deal with them better than most teams, they're going to revert to that, especially with the line of scrimmage mismatch, because I really do think it is a mismatch that heavily favours the Chiefs. We're going to see Hogan underneath, Amendola as well. I've got no doubt he'll get involved in some of these sorts of plays. You'll see a lot of the stuff like you saw in the comeback last year, a lot of these slants, underneath drags, quick ins, quick outs, option routes. So I think Hogan is going to be a huge part of this offense, as well as the running backs. I think that's where Brady's going to be relying on getting the majority of his yardage. I say the run game, I just can't see them getting a huge amount of success against such a good front in Kansas City. On the other side of the ball, I think it's very similar. These teams are constructed in fairly similar ways. If you look at the line of scrimmage for the Patriots, they're loaded in the middle with Branch and Brown, pair of fantastic run stuffers in the middle. Patriots very tough to run on. You've got Donta Hightower just behind them. I figure that's going to remain the case. The Chiefs tend to get more stuff through. Most of their run success comes through scheming, and Andy Reid's very good at getting his run game going. But I'm not sure this is the team to do it, especially with a rookie in Kareem Hunt. Charkandrick West is an okay player carrying the load. I just don't think they'll be good enough against a team that I think most teams are going to have a tough time running the ball on this year. The big difference for me is the pass rush. This is where the Patriots, if this roster's got one major weakness, the pass rush is certainly it. With Derek Rivers getting injured, Coney Ealy not working out, they've got Trey Flowers, who played quite well last year, but that's just one guy, and at the end of the day, he's still not a proven player, a proven commodity like the guys that the Chiefs have. So I think that could end up being a problem for them, especially because this Chiefs offense has guys that can stretch the field if Alex Smith is given enough time. Now, of course, he is almost infamous for his lack of willingness to throw deep. However, with Tyreek Hill, who I'm expecting to see shadowed by Stephon Gilmore in this game, but I don't think Butler's got the athletic skill set to keep up with Hill like Gilmore does. And also Gilmore will have the ability to do more at the line of scrimmage against him. Hill's going to have the opportunity to make his plays. Gilmore is not the most consistent player. He's a very talented corner. He can certainly make some plays. If anyone's going to come up with an interception in one-on-one coverage in this team, this Patriots secondary, it's probably him. I think Hill is going to have a tough time though, because I think there'll be safety help over the top. Similarly, I think I think we're going to see Berry on Gronkowski. We're going to see Devin McCourty lining up over the top of Travis Kelce. Kelce is the number one receiver, even though he's a tight end, of course, for this Chiefs team. Patriots do a great job. Belichick always does a great job of focusing on a couple of things that a team does well and doing everything that he can to eliminate them, even if it's to the detriment of other areas of the defence. It tends to work quite well. Kelsey's going to be public enemy number one. They're going to be focused on taking away the deep ball. So Patrick Chung, I think, helping out Gilmore with Tyreek Hill, making sure he doesn't go over the top. Hill will have to make his plays underneath. Kelsey, I think he ends up with sort of bracket between McCourty and a linebacker. I really do think that kind of focus is placed on those two, especially with the lack of weapons that the Chiefs have elsewhere. Now, whilst I think the line, which is a solid line, it's not great, Fisher will have to hold up against Flowers, but if he can, I don't think they'll have too much trouble in pass pro. The other weapons will need to step up. Chris Conley, some of these other guys, I'm not too sure of their talent level, especially against such a good secondary as the Patriots. That's my biggest concern. I think we're going to have to see Andy Reid dig into his screen game playbook, which he's always happy to do. I think Kareem Hunt could potentially be very good there. Whether he's necessarily got a feel for it at this point, the types of screens run in the NFL and the speed of them, that'll be interesting to see as a rookie. Whether this team can also get to the edges in the run game is going to be huge. The Patriots are very strong up the middle. They look a little bit lighter on the outside. They're not as talented at outside linebacker. Carl Van Noy's okay, but they're not exceptional there. If they can get some sweeps, some tosses, maybe they'll have some success, but I wouldn't count on it. What I think Alex Smith is going to have to do is be very, very patient. He's going to have to use the running backs. He's going to have to be willing to settle for the short stuff, which he's always willing to do. That is his MO. And I think they're going to have to take their shots. A couple of points in this game, they're just going to have to take that chance with Kelsey or Hill. They're their two game breakers that they're going to be able to make something happen. I've got no doubt they'll have some stuff designed for Tyreek Hill as well, whether it's end arounds, whether it's screens, whether it's some kind of crazy route combination involving Tyreek Hill doing a double move. There will certainly be some things there. They're going to have to make a couple of game-breaking plays. This Pats defence is tough, and I think they match up pretty well against what the Chiefs do. So I'm expecting this to be a low-scoring affair. I think both sides' defences are stronger than the offensive sides of the ball in terms of the way they match up. So I'm expecting it to be a grindy game. Turnovers are going to be key, as they usually. It's very much cliche, but in this case, there won't be many. There might be one, there might be two. In all likelihood, I can't see. It's just these are not teams that traditionally turn the ball over very much. Though they're going to just be essential. I'm expecting it to be a grindy affair with lots of good defensive play. We're going to see some punts. We're going to see some field goals. I don't think we're going to see a huge amount in the way of touchdowns. So Smith is going to have to, I think, take more chances. I think the Patriots have just such a repertoire of weapons that they're going to be able to make enough plays. Whereas I think the Chiefs may have to force things a little more. And as a result, I don't see the Patriots making those mistakes unless these pass rushers can get home. I just think the Patriots' game plan is going to be to get the ball out of Brady's hands so quickly that D Ford and Houston's impact on the game is minimised. And as a result, I have the Patriots taking this one like kind of scoreline like 20-16, that kind of thing. I think both these teams will be able to move the ball to some degree. They'll tighten up around the red zone. Both teams will struggle to force the ball in. And we're going to see a clean, well-played game of football. That's my hope. Not too many penalties. I don't think there'll be too many mistakes. These two teams are both incredibly well coached. They've both got a lot of talent. And I wouldn't be shocked if the Chiefs won. As I say, they're going to need to make a couple of splash plays. I think the Patriots will be able to just do their normal, utilise their normal style on the offensive side of the ball to greater success than the Chiefs will. And I think that ultimately ends up being the difference. So, is there anything I am missing? No, I think that's it. So, just to sort of summarise, the keys to this game for me, for the Chiefs to win, they're going to need a couple of big plays out of their two playmakers on offence, Tyreek Hill and Kelsey. Whether that comes from Tyreek Hill kick return, whether it comes from some kind of end around, whether it's just Alex Smith putting the ball up and those guys coming down and getting it. They're going to need at least 2, maybe 3 splashy plays. They're going to need to generate enough pressure to disrupt this passing game. I'm not sure that sack numbers aren't going to be there. The Patriots offense will not be set up to allow that to happen. So there's going to have to just be enough pressure to disrupt things. Brady is one of the best timing-based quarterbacks of all time. If you can get into his head a little bit, slow that timing down, be physical with those receivers on the inside, then I think they can have some success. That, I think, is going to be absolutely essential. And then on top of that, don't let Gronkowski beat you, because it's easy to do. Just keep the focus on him. Peters is going to have to deal with Brandon Cooks, I think, because if they can allow him to get heavily involved in the game, then I just think the Patriots will have too much for them in this passing attack. Conversely, if you're the Patriots, just keep Tom Brady upright. If it means not sending out as many guys on routes, then just make that sacrifice. You can't afford to have him getting hit too many times in this game. Houston in particular is just a menace. He's the kind of guy that can generate some turnovers. On the defensive side of the ball, just be aware for some potential trickery. I do feel Andy Reid is going to have a couple of things up his sleeve. Be aware of those screens that they like to run. Be aware of, I wouldn't be shocked to see something like a flea flicker to Tyreek Hill in this game. Anything along those kinds of lines, I certainly think that they're possibilities. And just do everything you can to not turn the ball over. That's how the Chiefs win this game. If the Pats do not turn it over, I just do not think the Chiefs will have enough on the offensive end to win this game. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts on this game. I'm going to try and get as many games previewed as possible for Sunday. All down to how much time I have available to me. So I'll do everything I can. As always, let me know, what do you guys think? Are you looking forward to this game as much as me? I feel like unless you're a Chiefs or Patriots fan, you're probably not. Even if you are a hardcore NFL junkie, I just really like this matchup. So I think it's going to be a good one. Let me know, how do you think things are going to go? Do you agree, disagree with any of my analysis here? Give us a shout. We've got the comment section below. We've got the Cover Zero Facebook page. Follow me on Twitter. I might be fairly active during this game. It's not something I'm used to, the old tweeting during a game. But you never know. Got to start somewhere. So always happy to talk football. As always, I'd recommend, if you enjoyed this, check out some more of the show. As I say, more previews coming up. Did the round table, which is just a podcast essentially with a couple of my friends yesterday. We went through every single game and I got to vent about my frustration at this absurd situation that the NFL's put Tampa and Miami in. Even worse, because I'm a Buccaneers fan. I'd be annoyed anyway. It could be any team. It's just it's that little bit more annoying. Check that out. And season previews. There's all kinds of good stuff. Hopefully you'll enjoy that. And if you could like, share and subscribe, that would be awesome and greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a pleasure as always. Enjoy opening weekend. And even though they're not playing, go Bucks.